Welcome, everyone. Thank you for sharing what I know I'm sure is a busy morning for you, as it is for all of us. We really appreciate you sharing your time. So a lot of familiar faces, friendly faces in the crowd, of course, but for those of you who I haven't met yet, I'm Kevin Newman. I'm head of the Sentry School of Business and Economics, and I'm honored to be presenting you the work that we've been doing today. So I'll be playing a little bit of a presentation role, but also a little bit of an MC role. But before we kick things off, I want to make sure you give a couple thank yous. First off, thank you once again for Sentry and their generosity for making all of this possible and for pushing us to be everything that we can be. But thank you as well to all of our employer and community partners. We could not be the school that we are without all of your help creating opportunities for our students for internships, coming into the classroom and engaging, and then, hiring them when they're done too. That's always nice. But without your help, we couldn't be who we are. So thank you as well. And thank you to everyone in the Sentry School of Business and Economics, faculty, staff. Thank you for UWSP faculty and staff, wonderful video crew that we have from a variety of places across the university today to record this special event. Thank you for all your hard work. And thank you to all of our students for choosing us and being part of this journey and seeing the development of the school. So now it's time to kick it off. So please join me in welcoming Chancellor Tom Gibson for some opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. And welcome. Wow, this is a good-looking group. Yeah. So thank you for joining us this morning. This is a big day for the Sentry School of Business and Economics, but also for UW-Stevens Point overall. The brand work with Carnegie will help the Sentry School tell a compelling story to prospective students, employers, and community members. These efforts will help attract new students to the Sentry School and help raise the national profile of our university. The Sentry School and Carnegie have also included our university communications and marketing team with their work, and they will help us learn how to better tell compelling student stories in an active, engaging voice that represents all of our UW-Stevens Point programs. So I am excited to have our Sentry School team show you what they have worked on last year. And I'm also excited for what this brand campaign will do for the Sentry School in our university. So Kevin, without further ado, let's share with them what we've been working on and what we're really, really proud of. Let's do it.
Absolutely, let's do it. Let's go. Oh, awesome. Hiding stuff on me. Well, that's it. Let's see what we've done. So this process started last fall, and I want to kick this off a little bit by talking about our fantastic partner in this process, Carnegie. Carnegie, we couldn't have chosen a better team to work with. We interviewed others, but this was the one that clicked right away, and we made the right choice. So they're a little bit different in how they approach things. Very, very grounded in research. As academics, we like to know that we have a foundation in what we're doing, right? And we like to know that there's fact. But what they also do is they're really invested in figuring out a consensus about who you are as an institution, so you can tell that authentic story. And that is so key if you're going to be attracting. People can obviously detect when things aren't genuine. And so when we heard that approach, it was exactly the way we wanted to go. So as I mentioned, it started last fall, almost a year ago, not quite, with research, a lot of research that many of you were actually a part of in various roles. First, we had about 200 participants in 2 days of workshops in early October. And if you were there, these were pretty intense, all-day group collaborations to identify truly who we were and get a consensus about, from people who knew us well, about our true identity. Matching that then was over 1,000 respondents for general market perception to try to gauge, how are we seen, right, in the market, both locally but also, across the state, across the upper Midwest. What do people think about us? And then also they took a deep dive into 6 of our closest competitors to see how are they doing things. How do we compare so that we can look to differentiate and get that competitive advantage? And so what came out of this as the first level of Carnegie's process is they identify personality types, personality archetypes. And these personality archetypes come with an authentic tone, a way of addressing, imagery that represents that concept. And so the 3 that came with us are the analytical innovator, the determined competitor, and the nurturing supporter. Now, I remember sitting at my table going through this, working with students and others, going, yeah, well, we're this one, and this one, right? And honestly, pretty darn close. But it was good to see everybody else thinking the same thing, right? That your perception of this was also what the group was seeing. But this is the core of everything, because this keeps us true. This guides how we communicate, right? How our design looks, right? And it keeps us centered, so we're consistently talking about what we do best. Now, using this, the point of this entire project is to create an authentic brand identity that differentiates the Sentry School from competitors and raises us above the noise. And I'd add one more thing here. It also keeps us above the noise, because we want to have a brand that's tough to duplicate, right? Keeps us competitive for a long time, and we have that. And I'm very, very excited to reveal that today. Sentry Does. So what is Sentry Does? It's the name of a brand concept, an identity. It's a bold declaration based on action, based on work. And it's time to be bold. For too long, we've kept quiet, and maybe it's, Midwest nice, not talking about who we are and not being known for the type of business program we are. Well, that ends today. We took the bold route with this one. All right, we're leaning into it. But it's this identity that says we're willing to do the work, and so are our students, and we're going to support you to learn how to do that. And that's what differentiates us. Right? This is us innovating in and out of the classroom to consistently find new opportunities for students to gain real-world experience, right, and to develop the talents that are going to prepare them to be career-ready graduates. Right? This is a school where we're tenacious champions of our students. Right? We dig in and we work for you to elevate you, to push you and get you to succeed. You can't help it. We won't let you not. This is a school that teaches you what you need to know, but it also teaches you what to do with that knowledge once you get out in your career and on the job. Right? It's all about doing. And that couldn't have felt any more authentic. There were 3 others. We looked at them. We presented 2, and Carnegie came back and said, you've already made your choice, haven't you? And we had. And we came back and said, yes, this is it. This is the authentic brand, the authenticity that we want. So with this, what's so exciting is, it encapsulates what we do best, learning by doing. Right? We are looking to create career-ready graduates through those applied experiences. So this is 100% of our students doing internships and us guaranteeing that they find that great placement. This is Agency 81, a student-run marketing agency where they go out, they find clients, they bill them, but then they deliver on the promises they make when they do that. Right? They get the work done and they stand behind it. And we could go on and on about those examples, and so many of them came up as proof points when we did the workshops. Teaching with passion. We are a teaching university, and a lot of our brother and sister institutions say the same thing, but we back it up. We're a teaching institution that actually loves to teach. You hear a lot of those, and yeah, they do a good job, but you also hear about ways that they're getting out of the classroom by doing other things. That's not us. We are here to engage with our students, right? To go that much further, to champion for them, to challenge you, to push you. You know, maybe sometimes a little harder than you might like, but we're invested in that success, and we keep bringing in faculty who buy into that model and are excited to do it. Actively supporting. So we have built, through our Anderson Classroom to Career Center and other student centers, a class of support services and professional development opportunities that is better than any business school around. And I confidently will say that. We bring in fellow institutions from AACSB, our accrediting body, to tour and learn how our events program works. So we could just set that aside and be like, hey, students, this is here, take advantage of it if you want, be real passive about it. That's not really who we are. There's nothing passive about the support and development. We build it into all of our core classes. We make people go because sometimes we understand, especially first-generation students, they don't understand that hidden curriculum, the extra things that they need to do to go outside of the classroom to be ready to succeed in their career. We champion it again, we push, we urge. You can't help but develop. It's that type of active support. And so all of this, and we'll see some examples in a little bit, but all of this is embodied in that concept of Sentry Does, and that's why it feels so right. But not to be forgotten here is, why do we do all this? We don't do it for ourselves. We don't even do it just for the university. We do it for the students. So all of this is there to develop a world-class student experience. And so please, you're done listening to me for a little bit, so I'm sure you're thankful for that, but please welcome Haley Denso to talk a little bit about her experience in the Sentry School and what brought her to us.
So before I get into why the Sentry School of Business has been such an important part of my college journey, I want to take you back to a time when I had no idea as to what that journey would look like. Picture this, it's my senior year of college and I'm wrapping up the last few of my classes, feeling relieved, thinking, finally, after all these years, I can finally catch a break. But then I was hit with the inevitable question of, where are you going to college? My grandma in particular loved asking this question. Every time I saw her, it was, Haley, have you decided yet? Or, hey, Haley, Betty from church said her granddaughter's already committed. Are you? The list of questions goes on, but to sum it up, I've always avoided it because, to be quite frankly honest, I didn't have an answer. Then one night, I set my family down to break the news. I'm going to Stevens Point. My grandma was ecstatic that I had finally made a decision, and of course, she responded with another question. That's great, sweetie, but what are you going for? And when I tell you once the word business left in my mouth, she looked at me confused and goes, business? You're going to a nature school for business? And she wasn't wrong. When many people think of UW-Stevens Point, they immediately think about the incredible natural resource program. But what often gets overlooked is the Sentry School of Business, something I've come to appreciate more and more every year. Jumping forward to my freshman year of college, I, like most freshmen at the time, were lost and looking for a sense of community and belonging. But that all changed the moment I attended my first meeting with Women in Business, a club dedicated to empowering like-minded women who want to make an impact. It wasn't just about learning from textbooks anymore. Suddenly, I was a part of something bigger. From building care packages for homeless shelters to connecting with local women in the workforce, I realized I found myself in a room full of people who believe that business just isn't about profit margins. It's about creating impact, changing lives, and creating an impact, changing lives, and solving real-world problems. Women in Business gave me the confidence to take action, not only to think bigger, but to take risks I never thought I would. And in my freshman year, I took a leap that I never thought I would. I ended up starting my own business. It was terrifying to say the least. I was a broke, clueless college girl who had an idea, but absolutely no roadmap. I quickly realized that starting a business is not just about having a good idea, but it's about knowing where to start and how to execute it. This is where the Sentry School of Business stepped in. They directed me to the Small Business Development Center, a resource specifically designed for students like me who want to turn their ideas into reality. Multiple professors at the Sentry School of Business also stepped up for me as well. They took personal time out of their busy schedules to meet with me one-on-one, providing invaluable advice and guidance. Whether it was tweaking my business model, helping me prepare for tough questions from investors, or helping me practice my pitch until it was polished, they were ready to offer support. I remember countless afternoons spent over Zoom or in their classrooms discussing strategies, running through mock presentations, and sometimes just to talk through my fears and doubts. And now I stand before you as a junior. I'm the Public Relations Officer of Women in Business, an entrepreneur, a business pitch competition winner, and a proud student of the Sentry School of Business. If there's one thing that I've learned over these past 2 years is that the Sentry School of Business isn't just here to teach. They're here to walk alongside us, to push us to think bigger, and most importantly, to take action. This isn't a school where you just sit through lectures and memorize facts. It's an environment that encourages you to roll up your sleeves and become a doer. Whether it's starting businesses, leading an organization, or making an impact in our communities, the Sentry School of Business gives us the tools, the confidence, and the support to make things happen in the real world. So today, as we celebrate this new chapter in our school's journey, I'm excited for just what the future holds for me, but also for the future students and generations who will follow. I know that they too will be inspired to go beyond the textbooks and become the doers and leaders this world needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Haley. So when asked to, pick, she was on the slide, so it was like the logical choice. I just kidding. But we have so many students with stories like this that it's exciting to be able to talk about those types of experiences because it is so embedded in what we do. And we're very proud of Haley and all of our students for the amazing work that they do, as entrepreneurs and in our partner organizations. It's very, very exciting. It's really what we do this for. All right, what's next? So what we're doing now is we got to put this into action, right? It's all about doing. It's all about moving forward. And so the next step in big picture is to build a distinct brand identity and establish it for the Sentry School of Business and Economics as part of the broader brand family of UW-Stevens Point. We're not looking to separate ourselves from UW-Stevens Point. We're proud of the institution that we're a part of, and we want to keep that recognition. But we'll have a little bit separate identity as well. And in that, we'll support each other. We'll be leading into some markets, UWSP will be leading into other markets, and we'll raise the profile of both of us at the same time. Specifically, we've got two main tracks that we'll be moving down. First, we're working to increase brand recognition and reputation. What we learned from industry perception and Haley's story, which is incredibly accurate, we are a world-class college of natural or a school of natural resources, right? And many other programs. But we're also a world-class business program, and it's time for people to know that. Right? And so that is that bold declaration. Again, it's not time to be quiet anymore. It's time to get out and say that everywhere. So that's the main theme of this. But we also want to leverage this strategically through other research that Carnegie provided us about demographic factors and areas, about student profiles, and be able to tailor our message and our brand to really leverage this for recruiting. So, more applications, of course, is a goal here. More applications to the Sentry School, more applications for UW-Stevens Point overall. We are all in this together to grow enrollment and make sure that we have, a full university. We're excited for that challenge, and we've been doing pretty well so far, and we're looking to keep going with it. We're also, though, looking to do a better job converting those applications, right? Getting people from application through the right communications by highlighting all of the experiences they're going to have. Why us as opposed to other places? When they hear these stories from loving grandmas and grandpas and parents that are saying, why Stevens Point? They have the right answer, because we're better, right? But that we can get there, we can convert those applications to enrollment. So that's really the next stages that we're working with here. And so we have a number of brand examples. I have a few that we're just going to highlight to talk about the design components of this and why it's such a fun brand to talk about. After, when we're complete, we also have examples printed up in large poster format in the back that we encourage you to take time to look at, to digest. The images, the headlines, the copy. Get a feel. We've got the whole core story of the brand, and I think if you look at it, you'll see immediately why that drew us in and was so attractive. So take some time in the back of the room afterwards to digest at your leisure. But to show a few examples of this, you'll notice some themes designed that make it so compelling. First, we're looking for a very clean, modern feel. We're a higher education institution, of course, and we're proud of that, but we also want to look different from other higher ed. Sometimes we get into the habit, and I think we've done that with the imagery. You've probably noticed throughout the presentation, the leading point here is a lot of pretty compelling photography, right? And that is going to be the key focus of where we're going. Sometimes I think in higher education, we try to tell people what we do a little bit too much. We want to move to showing people, to evoke that emotion through these compelling photography and video. Design elements, a few things, purple, bold headlines, right? And you'll see, we talk all of this is bold. We're making statements. We're standing behind the work. We're talking about what we're doing. It's all about those experiences and activities, and we're getting right out in front and saying that. Design-wise as well, we're integrating often this gold bar, right? We're trying a little slightly different approach to integrating and moving forth the purple and gold that we're so proud of. But it is a bold statement, that purple and gold, and we're trying a little subtle approach to that as well. But it stands out amongst our competitors. And so I encourage you, as I said, take the opportunity after the presentation to digest those a little bit in more time. But one last tenet of this design and this brand is a commitment to video storytelling, particularly of student stories. So you'll see and notice a lot of cameras around today, and Haley's actually our first student feature, and this is part of that. So documenting those student experiences to use that to tell our story as well. And we also have, with Carnegie's help, produced a brand anthem video to really be a visual representation of that core story, and I'd like to share that with you today.
It's smart delivering time, convenience.
Here's a 62% compared to 83%.
Yeah.
But so far, you're doing great. Let's just take from the top once more, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Today, I'm going to be talking about a data process here at Sentry.
This with you really quick, so can you look?
When you put in the work,
Pretty good.
it speaks for itself.
Thank you.
Awesome job. You did amazing.
Max has already been negotiating royalties off of this, or trying, and I think Haley's probably going to be as well. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is Sentry Does in its essence. So thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate you sharing your time and being a part of the development of the school and everything we're doing moving forward. Again, take some time to look at the brand pieces. We'll be here for another hour or so, happy to talk through anything in more detail. You'll notice as well, if you're eagle-eyed in the video, we also have a thank you to Ruby Coffee for participating and donating their space and their time to be part of this event. And we have a special gift from Ruby for you to take away, along with some of the world-famous university cookies with Sentry Does as well. So make sure you take part of that. So we'll be here for an hour or so to talk questions, but then we'll be moving on because we have work to do.